Good morning, APCSP classes. Today is Thursday, April 30th, and I know I usually only do my video announcements on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I did finish going through all of the submissions for the performance task part 2A, what you guys are supposed to submit last week, and I did have some feedback for the class as a whole. You guys should have gotten some feedback individually if you lost any points. I did have one person email me yesterday and say, "Hey, Mr. O'Neill, I lost points, but there wasn't any comment in the grade book for me on Classroom. So can you tell me why?" So if you guys did lose points, it was my plan, and I thought that I gave everyone comment feedback if they lost any points in the MCPS Classroom. So please check that first if you did not get a 5 out of 5, or if the number value entered in, it's not a grade, it's not being pushed over to the grade book yet. We're not allowed to enter any grades in. So your number value feedback that has been assigned to you for that task should be there. And again, if you guys did not get a 5 out of 5, there should be some feedback or a comment in there explaining why I took off a point or a half point or something along those lines. If you did not get that feedback, please email me because that should be there. Okay. So in terms of how that feedback was assigned, guys, remember that I'm not allowed to provide any feedback on your content in your writing or really anything about your writing at all, because this is part of the AP test. So really, in terms of providing that feedback, I was looking at three basic things. Did you guys use the template that's required for all your written response submissions? If you didn't, that cost you a point. If you did not submit it on time and the assignment was late, that would have cost you a point. That was a half point. And I also went through at the same time I was looking at all those, I was looking at your practice submissions as well. And I was checking to make sure that you picked something, a topic that was different from your practice. Okay. So yesterday I told you guys that some people had some very similar topics, but so far they were okay. As I got further into the providing a feedback process, I noticed that there were some that are not okay. Some of you guys picked the exact same topic for your practice as you did for your final submission. That's not allowed. I can't give you credit for that because you're basically submitting the same work. Some people even had sentences that were exactly the same from their practice into their final submission. So if you did that, you got a 0. That was stated last week that that was not allowed, and you guys need to pretty much start over and pick a brand new topic. There were some people that were very close. The writing was not similar. The topic was slightly different, but very, very close. For those people, I probably left you a comment just saying, "Hey, you're very close. Make sure that you do not have any information from your practice into your final." Okay. So, again, if you guys got feedback saying something like that, just be careful. Or if you got feedback saying, "Hey, this is the exact same thing as your practice," again, that was stated last week that you can't do those topics and you guys need to pick something new. Okay. So, that's how the feedback work, guys. With that, I do want to say that just because you got a 5 out of 5, that does not mean you picked a good topic. That does not mean your writing was good, and that does not mean it was as detailed as it should be. Okay. Remember, I can't provide you any feedback on your content. So the fact that you got a 5 out of 5 with that feedback does not mean that you did a good job. Okay. It just means that you used the template, you turned it in on time, and you picked a new topic. Okay. So there were a couple issues that I saw constantly throughout the feedback providing process. Number one, I've already kind of addressed, and that's the template. Guys, for this, when you submit to College Board, everything has to be on that written response submission template. And it was stated in the assignment that I'm expecting everybody to turn the all submissions through our process in on that template. So if you did not use the template, you did not follow the directions, and you did lose a point. I also noticed with some topics, I see that some people have selected topics from page 2 of the survival guide. Some of those are fine. Some of those are not, guys. If you read the directions in the survival guide, that page 2 of the survival guide, that's an activity to help you brainstorm ideas. Some of the ideas on that list and the topics on that list are good and they're great ideas. Some of them are intentionally on there and they are bad ideas and they should not be used. I hate to say it, but quite a few of you picked the bad ideas that should not be used as your main topics. Not every single topic that was stated on page 2 of the survival guide was a good one. Again, if you guys read the directions, it tells you to go through and put an X next to the bad ones and a check mark next to the good ones. So there are intentionally bad topics on there. It is not the case where any topic on that list is a good one for this. Okay. So again, some people picked good topics from that, and that's okay. But some of you picked the bad topics that should not be used. I can't tell you which ones are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones, or if you picked a bad one, you guys need to be able to use the information that you've learned in class so far, as well as all the information that's provided to you guys for how to complete the task to decide whether or not you selected a good topic. But I did want to point that out in terms of people using the topics on the survival guide. If you use the good ones, that's fine. If you use the bad ones, you are not going to get credit for your submission. Okay. Um, the last thing I want to say for you guys in terms of getting credit for your submissions is length. All right. For that 2A, you guys are capped at 100 words. And that's kind of a short paragraph. But I had some submissions that came in yesterday where you guys provided one sentence. Well, not yesterday, last week. Some people provided one sentence and they had less than 20 words. Okay. If you are stated a word cap of 100 words, you should be trying to put 99, 98, 100 words exactly in that statement. Okay. And you should be trying to cram as much information into those 100 words as you can. To just say, hey, this is my computational artifact and this is my computing innovation, and just leave it at that, that is not going to get you any credit, and that is not going to help you pass the AP test. Okay. So some of you guys gave very detailed responses and they were excellent, but I was very disappointed in quite a few people that turned in a 1 or 2 sentence response. Guys, you are not turning this in for me. You are this is your AP test, and you need to provide more information. You need to go into as many details as you can. If you are not meeting that 100 word count, or you're not getting close to that, I can almost guarantee you that you're not going to get those points for that part of that. Okay. So some of you guys need to go back and add a lot more detail to what has already been submitted and what has already been created. Those were my 3 big things, guys. Use the template. Make sure you're selecting appropriate topics. Again, every topic listed on page 2 of the survival guide is not a good topic. And length, guys. Go into detail on the other sections that are capped at 250 words. You should be trying to get as close to 250 words as possible. If you just say, hey, here's my item and here's my artifact, that's not going to get you any points for meeting the requirements. Okay. You guys have 100 words. Use your 100 words and try to cram as much information in there as possible. That should be your goal. And for the following sections, when you have 250 words, you should be trying to put in 250 words and using as much of that as possible. Okay. So one last time, guys, again, just because you got a 5 out of 5, there were absolutely people yesterday in the feedback who got 5 out of 5s who selected bad topics, who did not meet the length requirements, and who just generally did not answer the questions. Okay. So just because you got a 5 out of 5 on Classroom for the feedback, it does not mean you have a good topic. It does not mean you met the length requirements or anything like that. Okay. A 5 out of 5 basically just means you turned it in on time, you picked the template, and you picked something different, a topic different from your practice. Okay. Again, I can't provide you guys feedback on what your actual writing is. So that's kind of the only thing I can provide feedback on. It's on you guys to make sure that you're doing your best on this performance task. Again, it is worth 40% of your AP test score. The other 60% is coming from what you guys did with the create performance task. So I know that was a lot. I know it's getting to be kind of a long video, but again, since we're still working on this and we'll continue working on this next week, I wanted to throw those things out to you guys sooner rather than later. It is the case where some of you guys should be going back and starting back over with a brand new topic and kind of starting from scratch. Some of you guys are totally fine to continue doing what you're doing. Okay. You guys just have to make a educated decision about what's best for you and whether or not you're doing things correctly. Okay. Since I'm posting this today, I probably will just post a short check-in announcement with you guys on Friday. So expect to hear back from me on Monday, or see me on Monday of next week. All right. I'll talk to you guys then.